we last left our Unkind, we had left the sails of Gildan behind us, boarding a fisherman's boat to go back to Esil. We had squared our way around with the church of Shaylin and finished up our unfinished business, dewormed the entirety of the group, and after paying Zephyr to come along, we are now on the boat. Karrith brought everybody underneath the boat to basically have a conversation with everybody about his intentions, his plan. That he's doing this, whether he's doing it alone or with you guys. He didn't ask you to come, but if you want to follow after him, you can. He won't stop you. The conversation broke down where Razzik, now Octavius, basically said the same thing, but from a we're going to compete standpoint. Whoever gets to kill him first wins. Because at the end of the day, it's he who has the final kill who gets the revenge for the Ravens. Some choice words were said as this conversation devolved into verbal violence, where Nyphix tried to break it up, and Karrith pointed out that he thought he could trust somebody. He thought that somebody was her, but he guesses he was wrong. And then he bounced up to the top of the ship, where he pleaded with Sarvoth to take him straight to Malik. And Sarvoth informed him that, unfortunately, that is outside of his ability to do. But he can provide him comfort and understanding on the way home. Nyphix, hurt by what was said, had the conversation with Octavius, saying, "You idiots are saying the exact same thing as each other. Why not just get the fuck along so we can do the job, instead of arguing every goddamn time?" At which point in time, Octavius shaved his head and said, "You need to understand, we've been through so much. I've changed so much. And I will do anything that I can. I will do anything that I can to make sure I get him, to make sure that I can protect you guys." Zephyr, taking this all in, took note and look at the room to realize that at some point in time, Eelix had snuck off, and he was gone. The boat ride is concluding, and Eelix still has yet to show back up. Somehow, he has managed to find his way off of the boat. You arrive in Torlay, the ship docks, and the fishermen bid you all farewell as you step once more onto the shores. You see that there is another group of people, and you guys are currently almost on the outskirts of the gates of Torlay. You're still in the town, but it's on the inner part of the wall, so you could just walk in and sneak out if you were so inclined, or you can maneuver in. But Zephyr, one of the biggest things that you see about Torlay, it's a fucking happy place to be, man. Everybody is all smiles here, ear to ear, man. They are so happy to be alive, which is a bit more concerning to the rest of you. Unkind, what would you like to do?
Cast Detect Magic and keep it up permanently.
As you cast Detect Magic, your fears are realized. These people are wormed. The town is wormed. And something catches your eye. A poster on the wall catches all of your eye. A bounty for each of you. Alive or dead, 500 a head. Collected as a group, 4 platinum.
Nom noms.
Well, if this doesn't seem like the nicest place I've ever been in, I should see myself around this town. Shall we have a rallying point of some sort?
Before you see yourself around this town, you should understand that every single one of these people that I can see is currently infested with worms. The whole town is infested. So
Well-
don't touch anyone or you're in deep shit.
Well, I can't make any promises, as my notoriety may see me through.
Well, shake no hands, kiss no babies, touch no one, lest you become one of them.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said, shake no hands, kiss no babies, lest you become one of them.
Yeah, somebody who's infested with worms. I will make sure to keep myself at bay. Well then, as far as the rally point,
I have no idea.
You guys
Where
do
he-
kind of remember the bottom barrel, the one place where Eelix was friendly with.
Yeah.
Well, without Eelix, there's no way to know if that place will still be friendly. But it's better than nothing. So, the bottom barrel, I guess. Does anyone have a problem with that?
which is located where?
I believe it was on the other side of that one courtyard.
Ah, yes, that one courtyard. How could I forget?
Yeah, I don't have a meat, but I guess I try to recount where I recall it being as best as I can.
In which you'll recount to him that it is a literal hole in the wall bar. It is built into the wall and looks kind of run down and shoddy, but it sits across from a couple of market, basically market stalls near the center of a little off center of town.
Perfect. Well, I shall find you all there.
All right. And with that, Zephyr departs from the group. You'll see Scab is already ready his crossbow. Is on high alert. What about us? Where go?
I just look over and I'm like, friend, don't touch anyone. Under any circumstances, touch no one. This place is infested.
You'll watch as somebody comes up, almost like a town greeter. They're dressed like a town crier, a newspaper type person who hands out pamphlets and such. And they go, "Welcome, welcome to Torlay. It is so good to see." And Scab puts the crossbow up to him. Keep walking, keep walking.
I'll just let that go. I ain't got nothing for that. I don't want to talk to that guy.
And the town crier just kind of smiles at Scab and goes, "Oh, how delightful," and walks off.
Good. Is there a path that is open through the people where no one comes close to me?
We'll just describe as you are able to make your way through the town, trying to abscond from people as you're going. Is everybody going to the tavern?
Yeah.
No.
I think Karrith is very much just gonna start heading where Zephyr was going.
All right. So Nyphix, what are you doing?
Before heading to the tavern, Nyphix is actually going to make a sidestep. And she's going to look for magical procurements, possibly, real quick. Quick stop.
So you're looking for a magic shop?
Yeah,
What kind of magic shop?
scrolls.
All right. So with that, we'll send Nyphix off to the potionary and scroll shop, and we'll have Karrith and Octavius head to the tavern. Zephyr is going to be going to. Oh, hello there.
Wow.
And Zephyr is going to a place that we will be with in a short amount of time. For now, however, we will stick with Nyphix. Nyphix, you find a scroll shop, a scroll and potionary. As you go and you try the door, it's locked. It's early in the day, like only around like noon 30. Place shouldn't be locked up for this this type of thing, but it's called the Silken Pestle.
Have we been by here before?
I don't think you have, but Karrith has and Eelix has.
Is there a way around back?
Mm-hmm. You can scoot around to the back alley, and you'll see that there is a back door to the place too. Almost looks like the entrance to a home, in a way.
Just gonna knock on the door.
There is no response.
Window, perhaps?
You go over to a window and you peer in. Doesn't look like anybody's home. No lights, no movement. Taking a look through that window, you can see that there is a thin layer of dust that's starting to form on the counters.
I'm going to attempt getting inside.
You could disable device check to try and lockpick the door or the window, or you could just attack the window and bust it down. Your choice. Not your dad.
Come on, the cat. Give me the mouse. My mouse. You. I think I have to. No, I don't. We're going to attempt to discreetly bust the window.
All right. Go ahead and give me a roll.
You and I are going to fight.
I think there is a really nice subtle way that could work.
Mm-hmm.
The dampening of your wings, you would just put like your wing up against the window and then just elbow through it. Take down the sound a little bit.
All right. And what's your attack roll for that?
Unarmed would be a 13.
13?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you take a look around, see that nobody is around. And with that, you remove your top, you place it against the window, and you hold it, and then strike the window on your top, trying to bust it through without damaging your hand. You hear the window splinter a little bit underneath, and then you put your shirt back on and proceed to start pushing out the glass so it falls in, removing the rest so you can unlock it and get into the building. Once you're in, you do see that there are some scrolls and potions, random accoutrement that have been left behind. Anything of true value has been taken with. And it looks like this place closed up probably a little bit after you guys left town, given how much dust is layered on things. And with that, you see a couple bottles that are sitting behind the desk. There's only two of them, and they're both labeled Phoenix Fire. Past that, you will find some scrolls lying around. Most of them are arcane in nature. The scrolls, if you are interested in those. You will find a couple of healing potions and a note.
Um, just because of the nature of the store, Nyphix will definitely be interested in the note that's there.
All right. As you proceed to pick up the note, do you read it?
Yes.
Cool. The note simply says, I assume if you're back in town, you will have found it. The store and me gone. Don't worry. I'm in Belfont. I'll see you when you come. And then it is signed Firebug.
Is it addressed to anybody?
Nope. No addressing.
What about undressing?
You already handled that with your book.
Mm-hmm. You missed it.
Yeah.
So sorry.
There are bird
Picture
kids.
didn't happen.
Who knows? There could be. We just don't know. I wasn't aware enough.
Initiative tracker, it never happened.
Right?
I've seen Nate undress. I need the rest of you to get online.
Where exactly was it placed? Was it placed near any of the particular procurements in the shop?
It was placed by those 2 Phoenix Fire potions.
It wasn't quite what I was here to grab, but I will grab them along with the note. And then I will proceed to look for scrolls of detect magic. Yes, I know that I can cast it and use it. I'm looking at scrolls.
You will find 2 scrolls of detect magic. They are both arcane, so they would require a roll to use. But you think you can make out the reading.
I'm going to grab those and any of the healing potions that I can find. And then that's it.
All right, let's give you the best chance you have. Nice, you find 6 healing potions. And you are all set.
I'm going to grab those. And then the money that I do have, funny enough, I am actually going to place in a little box, hoping I find just a plain empty box, and leave it on a shelf under the counter.
All right. You find what appears to be a plain and empty box, but upon opening it, it seemed like it was crafted out of wood, was freshly done, but there was no epoxy or resin on it. Nothing actually like sealing this box. And as you proceed to open it, you will see that hear a tune begin to play from a music box, and then see a small person extend from the box and little fire flickers going around the length of the box as it is playing out this little melodic tune. The person lacks any details. They almost have a Barbie doll like aspect to them. You can tell that it is a female, but with no facial features or any clothing or anything on it. It's just plain. Even the fire dies out after or two. It didn't really last that long. It looked like something that somebody. And of course, you're dropping coins in there, so you're not going to have to worry about it burning or anything. And with that, you have procured your stuff. You have found your way back out of the building. What would you like to do?
I'm going to head to the tavern.
All right. So while you're on your way to the tavern, we're going to cut over to Octavius and Karrith. who have found your way to the tavern. You have proceeded to open it up, and you, with detect magic running, see that this place has managed to stay barricaded and unwormed. In fact, as you enter in, you are greeted almost with extreme hostility, spears pointed directly at your face the minute you walk through the door. And somebody comes up and starts making hand signs over you before they go, they're clean. And the spears are withdrawn. Sorry, we haven't been able to trust people lately.
No, I understand.
Whatever's got this town in its grips, it's driving everybody mad.
Say it again.
Whatever's got this town in the scripts is driving people mad.
What can we do for you?
I look
Food.
over at Octavius. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Food? Shelter?
I guess if anything, just a place for a moment. And I look at Octavius.
Indeed. A place of reprieve from the nightmare walking outside would be lovely.
Well, it's yours. You can join that other new face that's over there. And what does your character look like, Duality?
Okay, so looks like he's definitely human. He's got long blonde hair, blue eyes, and he's wearing a pretty flamboyant red and yellow suit. He's got a big, heavy crossbow on one hip and a dagger that he's kind of fiddling with on the table, doing the 5-finger fillet, but really slow, like, I don't want to hit a finger, playing at the table. Yeah, that's what he looks like.
With that, the man who greeted you walks over to the bar and proceeds to grab a couple bottles and puts them at the table for you two.
Is
It was like
Zephyr here as well?
Zephyr is not yet.
Okay. I kind of like give a few glances around and then I go up to the barkeep and I ask. So I'm starting to notice our faces are lined here. Is there any other tree of ravens?
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
out of character.
So, out of character, you have a Raven's stamp on you?
I'm gonna have a kind of just like a piece of jewelry, like a pendant or something.
Alright.
More of a groupie, a potential, a pledge. You know, never got in, but was trying
So
to.
like Arvin from the prison here.
Yeah.
All right. So as you say that, you'll watch as the barkeep points out to the new guy and goes, "Oh, looks like you had a fan at one point. I can see why you didn't get in, though. Seems a bit clumsy with the blade." But as for the Ravens themselves, no. Whole guild was wiped out. All of it. The only surviving members now are those who are smart enough to retire before.
Do you happen to know where potentially Kurtz is?
The name is a bit of a burn to me. Skipped that before he paid his tab.
Yeah.
Around the time when everything started going nuts over here. About 3 days ago, 4 days ago. Him, Malik, and Combs started going north. Had a couple of the jobs that they were doing.
Do you happen to know of their whereabouts now since they went north?
Not a clue. Not my business to ask. Not a Raven. Nor is anybody else's business who's not paying me mine. Though, from what I'm understanding, they were in town looking for a buyer of some sort. I think they managed to find it.
A buyer?
Some item or another they procured.
All right. Well, thank you. And I'm sure Octavius will be fine here. As for me, I need to start heading north.
All right. And Octavius, you will see as Karrith gets the information at the bar, does the double knock on the bar, and starts heading out.
Would you mind holding up for a minute, Karrith? I'd like to talk to you, just me and you.
I just stop at the doorway and I pivot on my heel.
Please, come. Sit down.
I walk over and I stand next to the table.
I sit down at the table and motion for him to join me.
If this is your idea of a date, I'm not having it.
I assure you, that's not what this is. I don't date dudes. Sorry, bud. But I would like to clear up something that's been bothering me quite a bit lately.
And of all times, it's now.
It seems like if I don't do it now, it probably won't even happen. So
That seems to
no
be your
taking
style.
my present. Well, it's not actually. My style is methodical, planned, studied approach.
Then say what you need to say, Razzik. I mean, Octavius.
Look, I want you to understand something that I'm not sure you do. The whole time we've been together, all of us as a group, before and after our betrayal by Malik, the whole time I could see a way forward. And I knew that with my spells, I could protect you guys. As I look at this town, friend, I'm terrified. Like, I don't want to be here. I'd like to learn how to shift planes and abandon this place. Because I can't help these people. And I don't know that there's anything any of us can do. It's grown so much. And it will keep growing, and I can't stop it. I'm just one guy. And I don't know how to protect our group. And yes, maybe I don't have the best way of showing it, but honestly, that's what I want. So yes, my outbursts are stupid, for lack of a better word. But I promise you that all I've tried to do this whole time, and if you take emotion out of it and look at what I've been doing, it's all been to try to put us on better footing so that we can actually go after these traitors. So, my temper notwithstanding, I don't hate you. And I don't mean to break up our group, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I just don't know how we can move forward and I can protect you guys. It seems hopeless. And the despair is bothering me.
Karrith pulls his eyes away and takes a moment to sit down on the nearest chair and slump into his knees. And he looks at you and says, I don't see much hope in it either. But I thought about a lot of things over time, and I remember fairly a moment we tried to adorn me in armor in the prison, and everything went to hell. And I still didn't even have the first strap on. I don't think there's a moment of respite. I understand you're scared. I was too. But I'm more scared that we don't know what to do than to do nothing at all. But there has to be something.
I want to believe that. I want to believe that there's something we can do to stop this. But I honestly can't see it. Like, we have no lead on how these worms are communicating with who is in control of them, with any way to sever their connection to these people. I mean, we the only thing we know is that with enough ice that probably will kill people, we can force them out or to die. And that is all we got. And I don't have the magic to be able to treat this many people. It would take me weeks. If they all agreed to be treated, it would take me weeks. And God knows how many we lose in the process.
But we're losing them regardless. We're losing them regardless.
Yeah.
Every time we think about our next move, we're losing them, Razzik.
And Duality, to your new guy, they're sitting pretty close to you, and you're clocking this conversation going.
Okay. And I definitely recognize them as Ravens members, right?
Hearing the names that are going out, yeah, they're Ravens.
And what does this guy know about Malik, comms, like all of that? What would this guy know about that stuff? Like, would he know that they're traitors, or would he still think that they're part of the good guys?
Word spread really fast that Malik killed Vickers.
Okay. So, traitor.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So, while you guys are having your deep, meaningful conversation, I'm going to turn my chair around because I'm figuring my back is to you guys, and I'm eavesdropping, with all of the giddiness of a groupie, and I'm going to turn around.
I will say one more thing on that note too.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that your character would know about, I'd say a month and a half back, there was a pretty big show that was put on by Emperor Titus Arbalus, and that show was essentially an execution of the Ravens who had survived. It was kind of a lure to try and draw out any Ravens, and it failed because the Ravens that were in jail had a big escape and disappeared into the night.
Okay, so there's a bunch of Ravens out there that could be found and rebuild stuff, so to speak. Potential allies. Like, people got away.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, like I said, he's listening to this, and he's like, they're here. Like, this guy wanted to become a Raven. He didn't make the cut. Because, his knife skills weren't that great, but he was decent enough with the crossbow. Anyway, he's going to turn around, and he's going to, hey, guys. And he's going to take out his necklace, and he's going to show the Raven necklace, which is something that, he got when he was a recruit. He's like, you're back. You guys are going to help get rid of all this stuff in the city, right? Like, we can actually get to work now?
Yeah, I kind of grip your collar to put your necklace back inside your shirt and go, what are you doing?
No. You don't understand. It's safe here. Everybody knows that they're traitors. Everybody knows you're safe here. Just I would keep it a little bit on the down low, but I mean, it's just a necklace, right? Nobody saw it. Everybody's more concerned about the stuff going on out there. Nobody's looking over here.
So everyone's aware, but yet the city's still going on with him doing this stuff. Is that what I'm understanding?
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to repeat that. I didn't hear it, or
Sorry, I was like whispering to you,
Yeah.
just like, so he just whispers to you, like, so they're fine with him just continuing to traverse about and nothing is being done about it?
there's not really much that they can do about what everything that's going on out there. I mean, in case you didn't notice, the world's gone to shit. Like we're pretty much it. Like we're holed up in this room, but there are other ravens out there. If we could go out and find them, they just had to run. Like there's nobody else to fight back right now. They've all scattered.
I look over at Razzik and think about the bowman that helped us get our escape. Nails. Have you seen Nails?
With that, we're gonna cut over to Zephyr real quick as he is approaching the guard barracks. And as he's approaching the guard barracks, 4 posters in hand, you find yourself stopped as you're getting ready to walk in. There's a man with a crossbow slung over his shoulder and a sword on his side that looks a bit broken and rusted. He's got short brown hair, looks like he's recently cut it. He's wearing very plain armor and clothes, and he stops you and goes, "Whoa, friend, whoa. You don't look like you're from around here. What are you doing here?"
Greetings, sir. I am the Crimson Zephyr, and I am recently boarded these shores and just looking for a good lay of the land and seeing if there's any help I can offer the local magistrate, or whatever you call your militia here.
You're the Crimson Zephyr.
That is correct.
Aren't you missing a few scars?
Well, magical healing has quite the rejuvenating effect. I'm sure you've partaken.
Yeah, plenty of times. Listen, friend, I don't think you understand. Whatever you're about to tell them, I could help you with.
I simply seek answers and questions. I'm not going to tell anybody anything.
Well, then answers and questions you have. But I can't on good conscience let you go in there.
Well, it is not your conscience that I seek aid of, sir. So, if you will excuse me, I have business to attend to.
And as he watches you start walking towards the door, he goes, "All right, but I'll stay out here. If you change your mind, just let me know."
Thank you for your concern.
And as you open up the door and head in, you will see that there are 3 guardsmen sitting at the desk. One of them is currently working on paper. Another one just going frenzied with a stamp. You just hear the of him stamping paperwork. And the third is lounged back in his seat with a coffee mug to his lips, and he is just drinking. And all 3 of these guards are grinning ear to ear. Again, so happy to be alive. And as the door hits the bell that sits above the door, the hinge, you'll hear the ping, ping, ping. And the guard who is closest to the door looks up and goes, "Oh, hello. You're not from around here. It's good to meet a friendly face."
Ah, yes, and friend is what I seek to find here. I am new to these shores. I am the Crimson Zephyr, and I have noticed that you have posted around town many depictions of these brigands that I seek to aid you with.
"Oh, brigands. There aren't any brigands around town, my friend." And he's still got this amazing grin that hasn't gone away. It's almost like somebody took fish hooks and put them into the sides of his mouth and pulled up.
And I'll awkwardly stare at him and go, "Yes, I have these posters that I've taken from your walls, which I have no problem returning. I'll show him the posters.
Oh. Oh, we've been looking for these ones. The ravens, yes. Got a 4 platinum bounty out on them. And you know where they are.
I am aware of their locations. I was just more concerned of what exactly the purse is, if if they are alive, unharmed, or what.
We're just looking for bodies, really. Alive or dead, it doesn't matter. 500 per person or 4 platinum for the group. But if you know where they're located, we can come and arrest them for you. You will still get rewarded your 4 platinum.
Ah, yes. Well, then I've seen them all traveling to this hole in the wall bar, and I'll tell them the name that you had said.
Excellent. We'll make sure we can get over there right away. You said you were the Crimson Zephyr, and he holds out a hand to shake yours. And he goes, I'm Arbiter Desmond Beckers. It's good to meet you.
Ah, Mr. Veckers, well met, and I'll give him a nice nod. I'm sorry, I have a touch of the sniffles, and I would not want to get you caught with any mal things.
Oh,
Sad.
no worries.
Yeah.
No worries. I am immune to all illnesses and disease and pestilence. They don't affect me anymore. It's been so nice being able to shake anybody's hand, being able to walk unworried, unbidden. Tell me, friend, have you ever been run down because of a cold?
I mean, we've all felt the sting of disease at one point in our lives, but it is very nice to know that you no longer suffer these things.
What if I could offer that to you?
I would be very interested at a later time, as right now, time is of the essence to procure these horrible
Yes.
criminals.
Yes, you're right. And he picks up this sword, he puts it on his side, he grabs a hold of his guard helmet, and he puts his guard helmet on, and he goes, all right, let us go. Lead the way.
I'm unfamiliar with town. Probably best if you lead the way.
You said they were at the bottom barrel.
Yes.
All right. Then on my mark. And he steps out the door, and he walks out, walking double-paced.
Perhaps more than just one person would help.
The other 2 guards just stare at you for a minute, just watching as you're saying this. And as you do, they're like, oh, no. 1 person will suffice.
I may have to study at your barracks.
We could take you there, if you're interested.
Certainly, after this business, of course.
Oh, all right. Well, come on back here when you're ready. And do you head off with the guard? Do you like...
Oh, yeah, no, I'm going with him.
All right. You'll watch as the man who is sitting outside of the bar, sitting outside of the constable's office, is still sitting out there as the guard walks past. He's got his hat tilted down so that nobody can see his face. And as you walk out next, he looks at you and goes, change your mind?
Nah, not at all.
Very well. What I hear was true? The birds are back in town?
I'm unfamiliar with the wildlife in this area. Good day, sir.
It's fantastic.
And as you walk on, he just studies you as you wander past. And then you'll watch as he fades into the shadow and he's gone. With that, we will cut to outside of the bar. Let me read this DM real quick. All right. So, Nyphix, you get to the front of the bottom barrel, and you give it a gentle knock. The door opens, and Razzik, Octavius, and New Guy peeks out of the door. They nod and pull a package into the door, and then the door shuts. And with that, Nyphix takes off into the air and is gone. You'll watch as the man who just received the package to wander over to your table and hands you this bound satchel of goods, handing it to Karrith.
What's this?
Someone just dropped this off for you.
Who?
An Aarakocra? Strix? Whatever they call those creatures that a pot bird, pot man. Hoppy, that might be it.
I just grab the package and I stare at it.
You'll see that there is a letter on top of it, and it sounds like glass jars inside.
I open the note.
The note says in Nyphix's scrawl, "Brothers, find your way home when the time comes. The tree will be waiting for you. I will be waiting for you. I'm going to rebuild our home so you have a place to return to when your journey comes to completion. I pray I am there to welcome you. Nyphix."
She's at the Tree of Ravens. Now why would she be going there? I look over at Razzik. Nyphix has gone to the Tree of Ravens.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that building is deep in enemy territory.
Yeah. I open the rest of the package to see what's inside.
I put my hands on my head and seem deeply depressed.
There are 2 scrolls bound in a string that have your name on it, Karrith. They are the 2 detect magic and there are the 6 cure light wounds potions.
A Nyphix care package. I kneel down and I place a hand on the shoulder of Razzik.
Razzik look up.
The best thing that we can do right now is work together. You do what you do best, and I'll do what I do best. But we'll do it together.
I mean, at this point, what other choice do we have? This is in every possible direction you can imagine an ogre's choice.
Yeah.
All we have is us, so we probably shouldn't linger here longer than we need to.
It also appears, I got an addendum note, you will also find 2 potions that you recognize well, Karrith. They are 2 Phoenix Fire Bloom. 2 Phoenix Bloom potions. Jezza specials.
Did she get these from Jezza?
I don't know. But based on the fact that the only person I've ever seen with those potions is Jezza, it's a good chance.
I mean, Jezza's still okay.
I don't know if it means that, but it means there's at least hope.
All right. Maybe we need to start going. We at least know where Malik's potentially going. He's been seen going up north.
So, do we head to the tree or do we head north after Malik?
Well, since we finally put our differences aside and seeing that we can take it from both angles here,
Giggity.
then I suggest that we regroup.
To the tree. I suggest you do something to alter your appearance.
I can come too, right, guys?
I just look over at you for the first time, and I'm like, if you think that's wise, of course, why not? One more for the road.
This is my time. This is my chance to prove to you guys that I really should have been a raven the entire time. Like, that's the way I'm looking at this.
By the time you fully understand what's happened, you'll be very glad you weren't.
I've been in this town the entire time it's been going to pot. You guys weren't here. So
Yeah.
I think we have a little bit to learn from each other here. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
I agree. You have more intel about what's happening here. If you wish to come with us, I have no problem with that. Karrith?
Are you well equipped?
I'm gonna pull up my crossbow and check my case for bolts. Yeah, I'm pretty good. We should be good here. By the way, the name's Carlo Veneer. I know things were kind of hectic there for a while.
All right, Carlo. Let's just hope that you're not like a kobold with that crossbow.
Better with this than this. And he picks up his dagger. He's like, not too much for up close and personal fight, but got pretty good aim.
Maybe that'll be wise. All right. Then we're going to try our best to rendezvous. And I look over at Razzik. I also want to try to find a man named Nails. He might have a better idea as well, as long as Carlo.
Well, do you think he'll be here, or do you expect him to be elsewhere?
I'm hoping that he stayed wise and stayed on the rooftops. I would believe he had a motif. Calling card, if you will.
Well, if you intend to search for him, we best do it sooner rather than later.
Right.
This town is finished.
Yeah, I pick myself up a little bit. Is there a shield nearby in any way?
The back of the bar has a couple of accoutrements. There are crossed, two swords that are crossed, a spear that hangs above the mantle, and above this, below the spear is a shield, a large round shield.
Okay. I'm gonna go over and ask to the barkeep if I may borrow this shield.
He looks at you for a minute, sizes you up. You know what? He takes the shield off the wall, passes it over. He goes, better to find some use in these next. Who knows what we'll run into. But if we can bring somebody safety, I suppose Omaka wouldn't mind us getting rid of it.
I'll make sure to return it to you one day.
I thank you, friend. Open up! It's the constable.
I stand up and look at the barkeep, and I'm like, is there a back way out of this place?
It's behind the bar. Everybody start moving.
I immediately head for the door, and I'm like, let's go immediately.
Go. I'll cover your
And
backs.
I book it.
All right.
I prepare a spell for the record.
And Zephyr,
Something.
you are standing outside with the constable right behind him as he's just smiling, knocking on the... And you hear him go, How cute. The rats are running.
Ah, you guys have an infestation problem as well.
Oh, every town has problems. That's the funny thing about rebellions. They are so tedious. But they, like most things, have to be handled. And he places his hand on the door and just pushes it down. It just falls off the hinges and slams on the ground. And you see your friends and a bunch of other people scattering, people grabbing weapons, getting ready to fight.
I see them leaving.
Yep, they're all starting to flee out the back.
Wait, help! I've been caught!
I think Karrith would definitely turn at the call of Zephyr.
And Karrith, as you turn, you will see a very familiar constable, grinning ear to ear as he proceeds to step through the door.
Ew.
Oh, we meet again. After your last fleeing from town, I got a promotion. I'm, what can you say? The head of defense? And he dashes over to a man, grabs him up, and rips his head off with his teeth and throws him to the side.
And you just hear the Zephyr go, Jesus Christ!
In this moment, I draw my sword and I connect eyes with Razzik and say, Razzik, fastball!
Yeah, as soon as he does that, I'm going to launch an ice spear at that guy, intending to stick him to the wall.
All right. So with that, Octavius revs up his ice spear, starts pulling his hand back, and fires it. And Karrith, in ice ball fashion, runs in front of the ice spear, lets the magical blast hit him, and starts careening with the magical blast towards the creature himself. Go ahead, Karrith, and make an attack roll.
Okay. What's the dice like to pull up for me? All right, there we go.
All right.
Now I would use my longsword for that, right?
Yep.
Okay, so then that's 26.
26. All right. Combined damage time. He no longer gets the save to half the damage. So Octavius gets to roll full damage, and Karrith gets to roll his sword damage as well.
Okay.
My ice spear hits him for 13.
All right.
11.
24 in total. On 26, 37 in total. As you watch the ice slam into him, and Karrith goes cutting through him, and as a swath is opened up in his armor, you'll watch as the worms begin to tendril and grab each other and pull themselves back together. And Zephyr, you get to be entreated to this horror show as this man reforms himself and goes, ow! Oh, come on, we can all just be friends, can't we? The family once more. And the person whose head was bitten off will begin to watch as worms are pulling from his neck orifice as he's getting ready to stand back up. Carlo, as you are in this, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
I'm going to scream gross, and I'm going to shoot a crossbow shot, because that's the first time I've seen something that gross that close up.
All right.
So it's gonna be kind of one of those like shoot, like, yeah, and the dice show that. The dice definitely show that he was a little phased by the head ripping and worm squirming.
Please don't let that crossbolt hit me in the ass.
The crossbow goes soaring over Karrith's shoulder and clumps up on the side. With that, it is Scab's turn. He's going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He's going to close in from the side here.
Still better shot than Scab.
And he will miss that hit, unfortunately. But he is doing a lot better than he typically does. You see him the best of. With the other people beginning to run out as the Ravens' rallying call is giving them all credence to leave. They are going to try and flee out the back while no one's here. And Zephyr, it is your turn.
I mean, I'm not bound or anything, so I'll just run away.
All right. Out the front door, I presume?
I didn't walk in. So I'll just turn the corner and be like, oh shit. Just run around what I assume is the back where they're running to.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Jesus Christ!
All right. With that, back to Karrith. You are up.
Okay. Whew. This is gonna get dicey real quick. Get it? Yeah, tabletop. Love it.
Yeah.
Ooh, another 17 on that sword. 26 to hit.
That hits.
12.
All right. A beautiful shot. Octavius, it is your go. Unless Karrith wants to move or something.
I don't want to quite move because I'm trying to make sure to keep him and me between Octavius and Carlo. So I'm mostly using the shield as a buffer.
All right.
If anything, I think at this moment I'm fighting more like Andrew at this point.
Okay. Octavius, you are up.
Let's see. I'm going to do another ice spear. I think on the.
Constable.
I'm gonna hit the guy who's dead, who's putting himself
Oh.
back together. Because
All right.
he's at Karrith's back, and that would put him in a flanking position.
All right.
So yeah, I'm gonna target that guy. It's
Living dead guy.
+6. Okay, I'm figuring it out. Yeah, I miss him. An ice spear slams into the wall.
All right. You take your shot at the ground, and as you take your shot at the guy, he proceeds to pick himself up enough that the spear slams into the ground underneath of him. And then you feel a burst of magic next to you. And you'll watch as the guy who is on his hands and knees getting ready to stand up, his head spiraling back together, begins to shake and tremor and then slams into the ground.
Did the ground collapse underneath him?
Nope. He seems to be being pulled towards the earth as if his gravity just got increased tenfold.
Interesting. As I have detect magic running, do I see the source of that magic?
Your book.
Interesting.
You'll see that the book is flipping over. And as it's flipping over, there is a caricature on each page as it's flipping over of a woman dressed in very elegant robes with bones sitting on her shoulder. Her eyes are crystalline blue over. And she is holding her hand out as she's maneuvering the fabric of the weave and pinning this man to the ground. And just like a flip book, it's just continuing to go. With that, It is the constable's turn. He's going to make an attack at Karrith. That will miss. Second attack at Karrith. A second miss. We're going to change dice. Cool.
Changing dice.
It is now Scab's turn. Scab is going to pull to the back. And that
Ooh.
is a hit from Scab, who will deal 14 more points of damage to this guy. Ah, got him! More
Nice
people.
flank.
I learned it from you, Dad.
Okay.
Carlo, it is your go. As this place is now well abandoned, as people are coming out the back, and you begin hearing screams out the back. What would you like to do, Carlo?
Oh, I'm going to take another shot, and I'm going to work my way backwards too. I'm working my way out.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead and make a shot.
Yep, I'm changing the die color.
Ah, so the great duality does get superstitious.
It's the duality of man.
Hey, I did better. I did better.
One more. One more. It's getting there. If he can hit the other spectrum, he'll make it.
You fire another shot, and you pick a singular worm out of the guy as it gets pinned to the wall, and then slowly worms its way around the arrow, sinking itself back together. With that, the Zephyr, you are continuing your pathway to the back. You begin hearing the screams, and you see a constable in the back as well. And he's just sitting there going, no, don't everybody run at once. It's really hard to ascertain you all. Is that the word for it? Yes, ascertain. Collect, if you will.
Shout, you heard him run twice!
All right. And are you going to flee towards, run towards the back to help out?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Are you running away?
No, I'll go help.
All right. You round the building and you see the constable in the back as well. And this constable's arms are completely deformed. They are basically mounds of broiling mush. You can see the worms moving inside of his skin, just undulating in his body.
I know those words sound good.
And that will be your turn getting to that spot in the building. You're not here yet, so I'm going to keep you there. That brings it back up to Karrith.
Okay. Trying to think like of the best way to put this, because it's kind of a wonder. With all this like connection to the void through Sarvoth, would I be able to use that in the blade when I swipe through to kind of remove any like excess worms that could pull them together through the swipe? Like things that just fall to the void as soon as they swipe through them?
You can try.
Okay. I would like to try that. I just didn't know if there was like a connection or something I'd have to do otherwise.
Go ahead and make an attack roll. I see how it is.
The dice want to tell a story.
Karrith, with that, you call on to Sarvoth's power, and the blade goes an ethereal black, and you feel the drawing force of the blade as you slash it through this man like a edged vacuum. Worms start pulling from his body and go into the sword, and you see this man's face suddenly go white. And you see the worms now starting to undulate through his body, trying to get to the other side as you make a slash and take out a good number of the worms. Go ahead and roll damage. And in my world, as you know, your damage dice is automatically maxed, and then you get another one on top of that.
I guess I needed that max. So
Uh,
D8
So we're at 9
max.
currently. What do you have that?
And then a 5.
5. All right. So that would be 14 damage. Add it on. And that is also going to be an auto fail. All right. And it is now Octavius' turn.
The guy who's down, being that he's being held still, would I get a bonus on attacking him?
If you come into melee range, you'd get the advantage naturally, but because you're firing from far away, unfortunately, no. But he is restrained, so a hit would still coup de grace him.
Let's try to hit him. God damn fucking dice!
Him and Duality are sitting in the same boat and absolutely steamrolling.
The
Fucking
fact that Scab
Nyphix
has one
leaves
hit.
and- Sorry, guys. Fucking pass the bad juju off.
Once she leaves, Bad Juju goes to these guys, and Scab is actually hitting.
New
So with
character, new dice. It needs to settle down.
Yeah.
Octavius throws out his shot. It whips into the floor, and the people are going to continue running to try and get away from the constable guard. It is now the constable himself's turn. As such, he will bestow a mark on someone else as well, and he's going to try to leave. Karrith and Scab get an attack of opportunity.
Oh, right. I definitely don't want him getting away. Shit.
There it is.
Well, that was a... Where'd that sword go? +9, so only a 16.
16 does not hit, unfortunately.
Damn it.
Those Scab hits with another 14 for 91 points of damage. Guy
91?
Well, he's at 91 damage now.
Oh, I was about to go, damn, Scabs! Hitting with 91 damage?
10, 15.
Guy's got Paladin Smite.
Seriously, I'm like, Scab became Hercules? What's happening?
Right? Yeah, I was like, what the fuck happened?
So he's going to start fleeing, and the guy who's out back is frightened, but he's still going to make an attempt on this battle. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He'll approach the Crimson Zephyr, and he will make an attack roll.
Oh, shit.
Which is a 16 to hit.
Nope.
All right, so that's going to be a miss. Second attack, 17 to hit.
Nope.
All right. It is now Scab's turn. He's going to run out the side and start waving his sword and shield in the air, screaming at the guy, demanding he come back for violent justice. And it is now Carlo's turn.
I am going to take my last shot and then work my way out the door, it looks like. I should be close enough to get out, right?
There is nobody to shoot at currently.
Oh, shit. That's right.
Bar's empty. But if you go to the back door, you can take a shot.
Never mind. Sorry, I spaced out there for like a half a second.
You're all good.
I'm just going to go open the back door.
All right. You run to the back door, and you will see the Zephyr battling an undulating arm guard who is taking wild swings at Zephyr, trying to touch him.
Ah! Goo! I'm going to scream that. I'm going to say, ah! Goo! Yeah, I'm going to shoot. Ah! There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Took me long enough. All right, so...
It was the air in there. It was just thick.
Right. So that is... Hold on. I new character sheet. Range. That was a 19 plus a 7.
26.
So 26.
Hits.
That hits. Okay. And that's a D10 for damage. Don't you screw me, D10. Thank
Yeah,
you.
almost. It was about to.
It was about to.
Right?
All right. So the guard will take the shot in the arm, pull the bolt through his arm, and just deposit it on the other side. He takes the damage, but he proceeds to take a look over at Carlo. He goes, and now he's just smiling at both Carlo and Zephyr, and you see that this man is now no longer talking. All humanity has now left his eyes. He is no longer here. And you just hear him laughing. Zephyr, it is your turn.
Please roll the die.
Zephyr?
Are you still there, Fro?
Oh, sorry, I have my mic muted. Knowing that I probably shouldn't let this guy touch me, I will burning hands him.
Ooh, uh-oh.
Oh, okay. Let's go. That hits. There will not be a
okay.
reflex save.
All right, well then it's 1 point of fire per caster level. So what level are we? I'm level 5, so that's caster level 3.
I believe so. I'm usually not too familiar.
Well, maximum caster level. Is caster level what level you can cast spells at, or your character level?
Caster level is your character level.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's 5d4.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I will save you the trouble.
It's 11. Okay.
You fire this burning hands at him, and not only do you watch as he doesn't bother to even dodge, he smiles at you, and you watch him begin to bubble inside. His armor starts to shake and then pop off at the rivulets and at the rivets, and the armor starts falling off of him as he starts morphing into this giant blob monster with just a giant grinning face on it. And as the flames end, and he is now a 15 by 15 foot blob of a human, you just watch the mouth drop open. He goes,
I have no idea what to do with this thing.
and as he says that, worms start falling out of this creature's mouth and start crawling on the ground towards Zephyr and Carlo.
Jesus.
You'll see a worm wiggle out of an eye. Anything you want to do
I'll-
now, Zephyr?
Yeah, I will take my movement to back away,
All right.
which is third. Nope, it is. What the hell am I moving? Oh, 30.
All right. You begin to hurry back to try and escape this this newfound terror. Damn, good eyes. And you watch as the hand wheels back and launches through the air, slamming 15 feet down in front of him, and misses you by the narrowest of margins. And as he slams his hand explodes onto the ground, and a whole bunch of worms fall out of his hand and are now crawling across the street before they regroup themselves up, reform into a globule-sized hand, and tendril back to his body as if being pulled like one of those gack sticky things, or sticky grips.
Those things are awesome.
With that, it is now the secret turn. 2 shots. All right. So the first bolt is going to slam straight into the creature, and then the second is going to slam into its shadow. And as it does, you'll see, Carlo will see on the side of the shadow, from the bolt, a bit of electricity trickles out into the shadow. And the blob monster, for the moment, is now simply breathing. He is no longer moving.
Kill it! Kill it with fire! Got a big blobby thing back here.
With that, Karrith, you are up.
I feel like in the moment of him adjusting to go after out with Scab to go after the constable, he hears that scream from the back and looks over to Razzik and is just like, Razzik, get to them.
I was going to finish the guy next to me.
I look at the guy next to me.
And you'll see that even though he's pinned to the ground, the worms are still undulating in his.
I then kind of just like grit my teeth, and then I just start running to the back.
All right. And with that, Razzik, it is your turn. You could double move. You didn't attack this turn.
Okay. Oh, you're counting Karrith.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then I'll probably get about out here with you.
All right. Octavius, you are up.
I'm gonna walk up to this dude and spike his head to the floor with an ice lance.
All right. You have advantage on your. Which I don't know that you're going to need. Go ahead.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm just thinking I'm probably gonna need that.
You are. He's a commoner.
The best I got is a 12. The best I got.
He's a commoner. A 12 is more than enough to hit. You slam the ice spear into him, and you watch him, all of the worms freeze up in his body, and he re-dies.
Back to oblivion, friend. My apologies. And then I use the rest of my movement, which isn't much, heading in the direction Karrith.
Scav is going to run into the building and start trying to head after. Well, with that, the rest of the people are going to start getting away. They are going to exit combat, so I'm going to delete them.
Okay.
And it goes over to Carlo. It's your turn now.
All right. What do I see going on with this thing?
It is apparently pinned and restrained by that bolt that's in the shadow.
Okay.
Taking a look up where the bolt came from, you see a man with a rather plainly dressed armor and clothing on. He's got brown short hair that's tied to him. He's an older man. And you see a raven symbol on him. Both on his sword and on his being.
Ooh. I'm going to point up and be like, see? They're coming back to the town.
I look up.
And you see nails.
I nod like we did when we got onto the boat, and I prepare for whatever's next.
Okay. I'm going to put a bolt in the blobby thing.
All right.
17.
That'll hit.
Boop. 5.
Cool. All right. With that, Zephyr, you are up.
Seeing that fire had no effect, I will turn to my lightning, and I am going to throw my lightning javelin. So do I have javelin in my inventory? I do not, because that's what you're basing it off of, right? Just javelin with the effect.
Yep.
Yep. So, or javelin of lightning.
Yeah.
All right. So use that. Okay. So I will throw one for 27.
That'll hit.
All right. That'll be 11 damage.
All right. The lightning rips through his body, and you'll hear him start to chuckle once more as the lightning is now tendriling all around. Anything else you want to do?
Seeing that doesn't do anything, I'm gonna
it dealt him damage, and the lightning is hovering on him, but he's laughing about it. You're not sure if it's just a mental illness at this point.
Well, how do I know it damaged him?
You can see the burn marks appearing from where it's rippling around him.
But are the worms repairing that damage?
They're trying, but they're being slowed.
Is it that's what I'm saying. Is it a noticeable enough change that I would know that it's not, that it actually damaged him? You gotta remember, I've never seen this or know what's going on.
It's a noticeable enough change because when the bolt hit him before, he just pulled the bolt in one side out the other and just dropped it.
Okay.
This one, you see the lightning is not only staying on him, which is unusual. The lightning would usually hit, disperse, be done. This lightning is hitting on him and is now literally just wrapping around his body, causing burns. And you see the trails of the worms repairing the damage, but he's burning more than he's repairing.
Okay. Then
Right.
I'll keep 30-foot range from him and stick with that.
All right. It is his turn. He is going to unpin himself. And then Nails is going to get another 2 shots, both of which will hit.
Damn. Glad he's on our side.
And that's 32 points of damage on top of his already 16.
Yeah.
As you watch 2 ice bolts sink into this creature. And the smile does not fade, but you just hear a long drawn out. And then he looks up at Nails, and you just hear him once more go, like a whimpered, crying laugh. Karrith,
Yeah.
top of the turn order, it is yours.
All right. I'm gonna. I don't know how many kind of charges I'd potentially be able to do that. I could imagine that this type of charge is very similar to displacement.
You are correct.
So I'm going to treat it like that. So this is removing my reaction abilities to do this void strike.
Actually, you have a thing on it. It's called Void Blade. It's your top action. The user may code a bladed weapon so that they are using the blade that turns one weapon jet black gemstone into a jet black gemstone-like shape that draws in light from things around it. You're using that same ability. It does 3d8 slashing damage. So actually, you owe me some slashing damage.
Oh, okay. So
because I don't know if this guy got away suddenly.
because that was to the constable last time.
Yep, that's why I'm going back and rechecking the damage on him real quick too.
Yeah.
He's got 16 more damage, and then I need another 2d8. He might not get out.
That'd be interesting, as if he was running away and just being unweaved and just falls. But I don't think a 4 plus 9, the 13 was. I don't think a 13 was going to hit him.
A 13 will not hit, but I still need that 2d8 for the constable.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and get that 2d8.
So I'm at 12 points of damage. Now he managed to live it. He's not happy about it. Live it. By literally a fucking point.
Wow. Of course he would. Oh, Scabs could have just got a bolt on him.
Scab would pull out his crossbow and shoot himself. Let's be honest.
Yes, I know. If this is the moment to hit, it would have been now.
All right. So with that would be a miss. You still have a little less than 40. Around 32 seconds left of the blade.
Okay.
It is now Octavius's turn.
If I move to here, can I see that guy out the door?
Oh yeah, he's huge.
Is there room for me to shoot a pea through there?
You're Octavius.
Yes, I am. I open my book, allow the pages to flare, read the incantation, and launch, instead of a fireball, an ice ball. And I'm going to center it further diagonal and away so it doesn't hit any of our allies.
All right, so I will bloom it here. This way it takes the hit on him. He did roll to save, and he managed to succeed. But he'll still take full damage because it's still an ice ball.
Right.
All right. 69. Nice.
Giggity.
All right. With that, Carlo, you're up.
And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to peg this guy, Giggity, with another arrow. And we're like, we can do it. Power of friendship. Oops.
Power of friendship shoots me in the ass.
Unfortunately, there's not many places where this bolt can go.
Yeah.
So you'll hear the power of friendship followed by a very sounding hasty cock, and the bowstring did not make it all the way back to the locking mechanism. You just hear, and you take an arrow straight to the back of the leg. That just right past your thigh.
Oops.
Pivot and stare at him.
Sorry.
All right. We are going to have a swing on nails. That is going to be enough to hit nails.
Jesus.
That is 25 points of damage to nails. Round 2. That is also enough to hit nails. For another 24 points of damage.
What the fuck?
As he will get bitch slapped off of the building by big meaty hands. And that'll put him at 49 points of damage. He is not doing great, but he's holding on.
What the fuck?
All right, it is now Zephyr's go.
Throw another spear, which will be a 25.
That hits.
All right, that'll be 9 damage.
All right, so that puts him at 78. Cool. All right, anything else you'd like to do?
Keep that 30-foot distance.
All right, it is now Nails' turn. That is going to be 1 miss and 1 hit for 12 points of damage, which will bump him to 90. As Nails will go, come on, you little asshole. I'll make sure to put you in the ground. Karrith, you're up.
Oh man. Okay. I'm gonna try to just adjust, just so I can get between him and Nails. And I'll try to strike it again.
Let's go. God damn, boy.
There we go. So you said this is the 3-blade thing.
Yeah, this is the Void Blade 3d8, because I'm assuming you're trying to take this fast as you can.
Yeah. So now would that have been equated for 3d8s at max?
Yes.
And okay.
Which I've already calculated, and I got the 20.
Gotcha.
At 114 now.
So then I would just roll 3 more d8s?
Yep.
Okay.
And then add in your modifier.
Jesus. That plus 5, 13 damage.
All right. Karrith, how do you want to do this?
I think it's the way he wants to do this is more he's trying to protect. So as he's swiping through, it's like watching a black mass just go right through it and evaporate it.
All right. So slash after slash after slash,
Yep.
as Nails, Carlo, Octavius, and keeping this thing pinned down, you use your sword and begin vacuuming as many worms up as you can until eventually there is nothing left of this guard but his skin on the ground. And with that, the battle ends.
Nails?
I'm all right. And he paces over to you, Karrith, and slaps his hand on your shoulder. Good to see you back, kid.
Thanks for that save back there.
Though, you seem to be 2 down.
Yeah. Once back at the Tree of Ravens. And I was hoping Eelix would have showed up here. But I think I may have said enough what I needed to say, and perhaps it was too harsh.
Perhaps in time will come around. You know Eelix.
I wish I did.
He'll look back past the Zephyr. You okay over there?
I'm just like mulling over this corpse. Like, what are these things? And why have none of you mentioned this?
This is the worms. This is what they do to people.
These are not worms. This is some type of demonic infestation.
It's the only name we have for them currently. We don't know the technical name. Else. How fast was this spreading?
Once you guys left like wildfire, a couple of the gods were infected. One after another they turned, and they started wandering around like they were religious people, part of a cult of some sort, asking people if they wanted to be saved. Those who said yes were turned immediately. Weren't, well, friends and family were already taken. There's a couple bastions that managed to survive, but the town. And Nyphix, as you are flying over the horizon, you will see there are caravans of people who are leaving, basically on extradition away from Torlay. Many people who you even recognize from the days past.
Where all are they headed?
At the moment, a few of them were heading towards Shent. A lot of them are heading towards Belfont. We're passing through the woods at any point now. Going through the choke point where the gnolls were. The allies that Eelix made.
I'm gonna put on detect magic as I fly, just to generally see if there are any infected within the mass exodus of people as I go.
As you proceed to look in, there is a wagon with an infected person in it. And as you fly closer to try and get a look, you recognize the infected person. It's the one that Razzik was holding hostage that day. She sits in the back, currently just minding her business. She seems to be fighting the urge to smile. And is just blending in with the crowd.
She's the only one.
At least in the caravans that you passed by, so Pond. It's just her.
Oh no. I immediately already see where this is going.
Is she the only one in the wagon?
Nope, there are witnesses.
Does it look like they're getting infected?
It looks like she's keeping her distance from them. It's one of those things where she might realize that she's infected and she's trying to fight them off. You see that there is a pad that she's drawing in, and if you want to get closer, you can see what she's writing or drawing, but you'd have to at which point make yourself known. But you're not the only one who's curious about her. There is a blonde girl who's in the wagon too. who sees the pad that has been taken out and the writing and the drawings, and is now starting to approach her. The little girl can't be any older than 6.
What are you doing?
Just writing. Passing time.
Can I watch?
I'd love you to watch, little one. Come. Sit next to me.
I'm gonna intervene.
What do you do?
Are they in a covered caravan or in an open caravan?
Covered caravan.
Fuck you, Spike.
It's got the traditional Oregon Trail half circle cloth covering over it.
I'm even just trying to think what Nyphix would even think of doing.
The little girl comes over, sits, and crouches next to her and begins taking a sitting position.
I'm going to fly into the caravan and hopefully pull the child forward to the front of the caravan.
Make a CMB check.
Oh, Lord.
+3.
12.
Well,
It's a little girl. She doesn't have a very high CMB. Scoop her up by her belt and pull her to the front of the wagon. And you'll see everyone immediately gets into shock. Weapons are now being... Put her down. We don't want to have to hurt you.
I do as they say.
And as you do, you'll see the mother of this child go, Ariel, come here. And she runs over and hugs her mom. You see her, Mommy!
As I let the girl go, I'm going to let them know they have an infected among them. And I'm going to signal to the woman at the back.
She looks at you and she now can't help it. The smile begins to form on her face. I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt anyone. Things have been really weird since the guards talked to me that day. I'm not infected. I promise. You were with him, that man who grabbed me. You saw what he did. He tried to hurt me. Are you the same as him? Do you just wish to hurt me?
No, but you can't go with them, unfortunately. You know you're infected.
What am I gonna do? I don't have a home to go back to. She stands up in the wagon. She looks around at the people who are with her. All these people who are now looking at her with almost accusing eyes. You watch as the rain begins to fall outside the wagon. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She steps out of the wagon. I'll go on ahead. I'll make sure it's clear for everybody. And she starts to walk away from the wagon towards the woods. What do we do now? If she's infected, then we can't. Stop! How far can we run from this thing? Whatever took to allay, how much longer? She's heading towards Belfont. We'll lose another city. We have to find a way. Maybe warn the Emperor. Maybe we go to Alexandria. If we go to Alexandria, we can tell the Emperor. Let him know that an infestation is crawling about. You don't think he knows? That he doesn't sit upon his golden throne? If the Emperor really cared, his armies would be out here right now handling. They wouldn't have let it get this far. Esil isn't safe. We're best off camping in the woods till this apocalypse is over. It claims us all. What about you? He looks at you, Nyphix. How do you know that she was infected? How do you know anything? You come and pick us off in a moment of weakness? What about you? Do you know your ilk? Is that how? Do you say or do anything?
I stand there for a moment, kind of listening to them argue between each other when he turns to me asking those questions. It takes me a minute. And my only answer to him is just take the blessing that it is that she didn't ride with you the whole way.
You feel a hand placed upon your thigh. And as it catches you off guard and you turn to look, it's the little girl. She's now sitting there and has a small, very worn out teddy bear in her arms. The stuffing is long since past expired on this thing, residing at the bases of the feet and the hands. And you just hear her go,
Thank you. Here.
and she hands you the teddy bear.
They're being mean, but they mean well.
I'm sure they do. She's gonna hand the teddy bear back to the little one and go, I'm sure he'll be able to protect you a little bit longer than he would me. And she's gonna go to head out of the caravan.
All right. Pop out of the caravan, fly back up into the sky, again towards Belfont. You're making pretty good time. The rain starts to hinder you a bit, but you'll be there in about 2 days.
I hate to say this, but the girl that got out of the caravan,
Mm-hmm.
she was headed towards Belfont.
Mm-hmm.
Was she out of sight
The caravans
from the caravan?
You give her a minute. The caravans aren't immediately starting back up. They're currently taking stock, trying to figure out how they're going to find out if any of the other ones are working. They have no idea. It started an argument. These people are now fighting with each other. My God, it feels so similar to what you've already been through. For long, she's past the tree line and she's in the woods.
Once she's far enough out of sight, and out of earshot, Nyphix will probably take her life.
Okay. She gets into the woods, and as you fly in after the tree line, you see that there's still a smile on her face, but tears fall from her eyes. She continues to walk into the woods, and as she looks back at the caravan that would once held her, now a speck on the horizon, I ask just a confirmation that you commit.
Yeah.
And with a single strike of your mace, she falls. You look as the life leaves her body. The tears stop, but the smile remains. What do you do?
Knowing Nyphix, she'll probably take the time to bury the poor girl.
Okay. I'll set you back 2 hours, but you will still reach Bellefonte way before anybody else does.
Okay.
When we come back to you, you will be playing in the future. And don't worry, time dilation will work itself out.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
We cut back to the rest of the party. As you look at the skin suit on the floor, Nails looks at you all and goes, honestly, I was kind of waiting for people to come back. I didn't expect you to be back today, but I was thinking it might be time for us to go see the old...
There was no time to wait any longer.
We could prep a caravan. He looks over at Carlo and then at Zephyr. Anybody without the heart to follow might as well be back, but if you're feeling yourself heroic, well, then welcome to join us.
I have no idea what I've just witnessed. And now you ask if I want to charge into this? No, thank you.
That's a shame. Here I thought the Crimson Zephyr was a giant hero, ready to tackle any cause at any price. Wasn't it you who fought the Hounds of Hell that had attacked the town up of Zildon's border?
I have slain many hounds of the underworld, but these I have no knowledge of. I simply do not run in blind. Why do you think I am so successful in battle? I study my enemy and learn of its weaknesses.
I see. Well, if the hero of Egmont is coward, far be it from me to change his mind.
You ask for aid and then insult me.
I call the nail a nail.
And I shall be calling the dead dead.
So what say you? Will you join us and try and put a stop to this incursion? Or hang out in the town with the rest of them?
It sounds like this town needs to be saved first, as these things spread by touch, do they not?
They do.
Well, then it seems like there's plenty of work here to be done to stop further infestation. Or would you just simply leave this other people like us to their fate. Now who's the coward?
This town is already doomed. The old man can teach us how to combat this. Figure out a way how to save these people instead of turning them into a puddle of mush like we just did.
But Nels, I need to find Jezza. I need to know if she's still here.
Jezza. Tiefling woman?
Yeah.
You're in the potionary. Nice girl. If I remember correctly, she boarded one of the first caravans north. So if anything, we'll run into her along the way.
I look over at Zephyr. She was the first one I showed about this worm infestation. She's a wise alchemist. She may be able to help us figure out how we could even save these people. Maybe turn something into airborne. Something that could just kill them without hurting the people.
And what's to stop others from venturing into this town and falling the same fate?
I look over at Razzik. Sometimes we just need to make sure we're more prepared. If we can be prepared, we can do anything we need to fix this. It may be slow, but it's a chance unlike no chance.
Are these things of hive mind?
From what I've seen, they are.
From the moments I was even infected, they do rule by some type of mind. And I even look over to Nails to inform him, when Nyphix was infected, it's like they listened to her. I don't know if that means anything to you. I don't know if that's just her will, her strength alone in that. Maybe it's the emotionless reserve, but...
I'm going to roll real quick for knowledge while you're talking.
Okay.
If they are of hive mind, then this whole town is aware of our existence.
Perhaps. And I kind of look around at the weather. Is it currently raining?
Not yet. It will start in a minute.
Okay, so I just see like gray clouds and such.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how far their signal goes. But just like any mind, they can be tricked. Me and Nyphix were able to do as such, and they believed we were one of them. So they may be hive-minded, but they're not the brightest.
I watched this town go to shit. From what it seems, the worms favor those with magical portent, which means all of us are, unfortunately, on the chopping block.
Yeah.
Those ones become the strongest, keep their mind, interact with the hive as normal, almost like generals. Anyone without magic, however, well, they become like this fellow here, mindless, simply a creature made to discover a task or to do a job.
And
Those
you
of us like him.
I missed what you said.
I was going to say, so you simply stayed in this town waiting for someone of our caliber to arrive.
Honestly, I was getting ready to head out towards the old man today. Just happened to be good fortune that you all came back.
Oh, then let's just see this old man.
Karrith kind of just... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, how far of a ride is it?
My caravan is prepped outside. There's a depot near here. Zephyr's right. They will hive mine to this location. If we stay quiet enough, though, we could probably sneak a few things from the armor. Leave. Get you all more tooled out than robes. And what were you going to say, Karrith?
Yeah, I pat Octavius in the back on that notion, and I stare at this skin that's just left behind, and I remember back to the moment when Nyphix was having her worms practically tell me to obey. And now understand that maybe it's just because of those that have high magic. It does have me thinking about how much of a greater threat this is to Nyphix now. They don't just want to infect her. They need her.
With that, you all start to make your way out of town, and as Nails had said, you find the depot outside unmanned and unguarded. You raid it, you take a bit of equipment to get yourselves geared out. You get on the wagon, and you start north towards Belfont. This will be where I end with your party for today. There is one more scene. I'm going to jump over to it now, but I will alert all of you. You guys are allowed to take any basic armory thing. So no magic items or anything like that. Daggers, armor. Shoot yourselves up. Have some fun. With that, we will port back over to Nyphix. You arrive at Belfont. You fly down and manage to get into unabated, stealthing your way through. You stick to the back alleys and wander through before you're approached by a familiar sound. Neil, as he pops up behind you. Well, hello. I didn't expect to see you back in town. Did you change your mind? I can still give you the gift. I can still congratulate you. And he holds his hand out to you. They tell me that you've already... You know what they say, the third time's the charm. You sit and look at this notebook that you have in your hand. The notebook with a letter that was not going to be delivered. A notebook with a letter in it to a husband and a son, now deceased, consumed by the creatures infested by the worms. An apology for not being there to protect them, for having to give that questioning, for watching with a smile as they were taken away, from being able to hear the sounds of their torment, their screams, their pain, even though she wasn't there. Her trying to reason why she even felt it, heard it, saw it, tasted it. And her pouring her heart out in apology. And you see this ex-brigand wearing his brilliant purple robes, his blonde hair, luxurious, flowing down to him. What do you do?
Well, her first reaction is definitely going to be to flinch back, seeing Neil just very much still intact. And her reply is going to be, sometimes, buddy, third time is not always the charm. And your gift really, I will say it again, it's not a gift.
Look, all I'm saying is you could do some magical things. But if that's your choice, I won't force it upon you. After all, I want you to ask me for it this time. Have fun. And he walks past you. You turn to your left and you see the burned down remains of the guild hall. The cross that Vickers was suspended on, still sitting staked in the front yard, with his body absent from it. You see that they've done some cleaning. Things are picked up, but they left the monument. Why not? A message to all of the others. What do you do?
I'm going to be cautious as I approach, kind of looking around to see if there are any guard soldiers wandering around, keeping an eye on the place.
None in the immediate area. They don't seem to really be bothering this place anymore. From what they understand, the Tree of Ravens was last day. Not really going to be a reason for them to come back to Belfont. At least not yet.
I am going to take out the amulet that I have of Vickers. And just for now, I'm going to cast light on it and hang it on the cross there.
All right. And is that it? The light will illuminate on the cross. The raven symbol, that bird that shelters the tree with the egg, hangs upon that cross, illuminating. A dull, dulcet light, not drawing attention, but illuminating, as it were, a beacon to welcome home. And you will look onto the fortress itself, the tattered remains, and see that the main hall looks like it's still standing. Sides are pretty bad. You do see the spattered blood now dried that tainted the grass and the walls. The body is now removed. What do you do? She's already skittish enough. You're scratching noises.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, get welcomed home by Neil. That's a problem. There's no guards at the fucking tree. That's a problem.
I'm not your dad. What do you do?
We're gonna go inside and close the doors.
You hastily dash across the pavilion. You open up the doors, shut them on the other side, and you're instantly hit with the smell of rot and pork. the smell of burned bodies. And you look and do see that there are still some members they haven't cleaned out yet that are unfortunately a part of the landscape in some cases as set on fire. You begin to wander in, assessing the damage, taking a look at burned desks, the wood fallen in, the rain penetrating in from the holes in the ceiling, just taking in everything. This is going to be one hell of a task that you're putting yourself to. And you'll have to do it in secret.
Mm-hmm.
What's on your mind?
That someone has to do it. Hell or high water.
All right. What of your allies? Do you think of them in this time?
I do. But starting off right now, I don't want to put them into harm's way.
Okay. You sit there, take a deep breath in, remembering how much you've been through to this point, what you did on the way here.
Yeah.
You get ready to set yourself in the work, and you hear the doorknob turn. And the doors creak open. You hear the sounds of footfalls come in the door and hear a very familiar voice as it says to you,
Nyphix, is that you? What happened to our home? Is everyone okay?
you turn and you see standing in the doorway Captain Andrew Vickers. He's beaten, bloodied, dirt on his skin. And that is where we're going to end our session for.
Holy shit.
Bum, bum, bum.